Hello, everybody. Welcome to tradingrate.com. What is going on in the stock market? I've been getting DMs from members asking me what's going on in the markets. And so this video here is to explain, to break down from a fundamental standpoint what's happening in the market, and also from a technical standpoint what is happening in the market. So we had a sell-off day in the market, and it looks like the market continues selling off in all assets. Like we had commodity sell-off, we had the uh, Bitcoin and crypto sell-off as well as the tech stocks and the stock market in general. So without much ado, I'll just go straight and share my screen here, and then we can get started. So what is going on in the market? Like, what is the fundamental reason why the market is selling off? So first off, yesterday the Trump administration came out and said that they were not going to release the CPI numbers or data for October, and also they're not going to release any jobless claims numbers for the month of October, right? Due to the government shutdown, they were saying there was some glitch in the system in the Bureau of Labor agency. They had some glitches, and because of that they cannot release the CPI and job numbers. So this is really concerning because the market hates uncertainty. So anytime there's uncertainty in the market does not like uncertainty. Okay, and that's one reason why the market started selling off today. But most importantly, the main reason why the market sold off today were Fed officials kept on saying that they do not think that there's going to be any rate cut in December as of now. But when we go back, we check the FOMC. Based on the FOMC, during that time, the odds of a rate cut was around 75%. But right now, it's like 50-50. It's up in the air that they are not sure they're going to cut interest rates in December. And again, we can't really blame the Fed because all of a sudden now the Fed have moved from dovish to hawkish. I don't blame the Fed because the Fed needs data like CPI, jobless claims to determine if a rate cut is warranted. And one of the reasons why they said they cut interest rate in September and October was due to the fact that the labor market was weakening. That was the reason. It wasn't even about inflation, right? It was the labor market which was weakening. Also, we saw the 10-year yield rise up today, like rally today. And what also happened was that we all finally got the government reopened. So the government shutdown was called off, and the government reopened today. President Trump signed the agreement to reopen the government last night. And so basically on Monday we got a rally in the market. So this Monday we got a gap up in the market. Tuesday we pushed up, and then Wednesday started tapering into the downside. So basically what happened here is like what I call buy the rumor, sell the news, right? The reason why we got this reversal on Friday was there was news coming out that, okay, there was going to be a deal sometime on the weekend, and that caused the market to rally, right? To reverse its sell-off. And then on Monday, it was confirmed that the government shut down, the Senate were working on a deal. There was a deal in principle between some Democrats and then the Republicans in the Senate to reopen the government. So that caused the market to rally. So now that that is out of the way, the market is going back to thinking about other issues, right? And some of the issues are rate cuts in December. Also, another thing is that there are issues in the AI trade, right? We have some issues going on there in the AI space whereby like things to do, charts about like AI bubble and evaluation of these companies have come into the spotlight, and that has put a lot of pressure on the AI tech stocks because the market is trading at astronomical highs because of the AI trade led by NVDA. Okay. And if there's issues about valuation and bubbles and stuff like that, that's not good news for the AI sector, right? Also, news came out that the data centers for the AI companies, right? They were halting building of data centers for the AI project due to power issues, right? Which is not good for, because some of these companies, most of them are mainly like data centers, and without the data center, they cannot move forward with the AI stuff that they want to do. Okay. So next thing also is that we also find that there's money being shuffled around, like in the whole AI space. So if you look at this, so here I have this chart of this, like this called, this is the circular deals among AI companies. So you have NVIDIA at the center, 4.5 trillion, like it went to 5 trillion earlier on, and it's sort of at all-time highs. And then you have two of the main players, NVIDIA and OpenAI. So NVIDIA takes money, gives it to OpenAI. NVIDIA agrees to invest up to 100 billion in OpenAI. OpenAI then comes in and says, hey, AMD, I'm going to look to invest 100 billion into AMD for up to 160 million shares for 10% share of the company. And that they didn't really, like, in terms of OpenAI and AMD, there wasn't any money moved from one company's account to the other. It's just a pledge, because OpenAI does not make money. They don't have money, right? OpenAI is losing money, right? So they claim that, and what happened was it caused AMD stock to rally and gap up, making up for that 100 billion investment. So in a nutshell, the deal was done, right? More or less, right? Because AMD stock price went up and they were able to use that for the deal. And then you have Microsoft, you have Nebis, you have Intel, you have, like, so this whole thing here is interesting, right? Because I was looking at it and it looks like a bubble to me, right? Look at the circle, it looks like a bubble. So once this bubble pops, like, it's going to cause the market to sell off significantly, right? We are not there yet, but this is just something to create awareness that of what is going on in the AI space, right? So then you have Intel, you have Oracle, we have Nebis, you have CoreWeave as well. So all these companies are working together, and there's money being shuffled in quote unquote dubious deals, and that is putting a spotlight into the AI sector. Also, there's OpenAI said that they were going to spend 1.4 trillion in the next few years, right? But the problem is that where is OpenAI going to get this money? OpenAI is a loss-making company. They are not making money. Where are they going to make that 1.4 trillion from? Nobody knows. I think a couple of days ago, weeks ago, Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, was being interviewed, and he said that if at some point their company are finding issues, they might need government bailout, and it became a big headline. And they asked him again, said, no, I'm not saying that taxpayers should bail out AI companies. So these companies are turning out to be what happened in the subprime mortgage era in 2008, to be too big to fail. Okay, because right now the capital expenditure, capex expenditure in the US economy, which is helping the GDP and stuff grow, is 90% of it is in the AI space. So if you take that out, you are going to realize that the US economy is not growing. US economy is actually going to be in the recession if you remove the AI stuff. So think about it. Like, if these companies have some issue, liquidity issue and stuff, what's going to happen? It's going to cause a massive crash in the stock market. Okay. So this is something that I wanted to flag here. Also, they also have issues with hyperscaler chips, and like they are inflating. Those guys are inflating their value and stuff. There's a lot of inflation of value of these, like, chip companies and stuff. So this has come to the spotlight. So these are the fundamental reasons why the market sold off today, right? So if you take a look at it, all the companies that are associated with these deals were really sold off a lot today, right? And most of them, the ones with high valuations, like higher EPS, like PE ratio greater than 30, all of them sold off significantly, right? So What now is the technical reason why the market is selling? So let's go to the charts, into the charts here. So here we have the SPY. So this is the S&P 500 ETF. So as you can see here, in several occasions, this is the weekly time frame. Anytime price come here to the teal blue line, which is the 9-week exponential moving average, we get that bounce, right? We get this bounce, all going like that. Then we have the daily. When you come to the daily, we are coming back to this red line, which is the 50 SMA on the daily, right? On several occasions, SPY has held it. So I believe that maybe early tomorrow we can test it, or overnight we can test it, and then in the morning we can hold again. But if you take a look at this closely, I see something looking like a head and shoulders pattern, right? A kind of slanted head and shoulders pattern. So let's put the lines. So over here you can see that if you look here, this is your head, this is your left shoulder, this is your right shoulder, right? And over here we have this area here will serve as the neckline, like this area here. So from here to here can serve as your neckline, right? Neckline. So if that's the neckline, we can use this to calculate the measured move, right? So the measured move is going to be, you take your measuring tool, you go from here, from the highest point of this, the head, to the neckline, or what is called the armpit, right? Armpit to armpit over here. Then you pick this, you put it here, right? From the neckline. This is where, if this sell-off continues, we are going to come somewhere here, right? So what I'm seeing is that when all is said and done, I believe that if this sell-off continues and we break below the red line, we are going to get a move that can take us all the way to the previous all-time highs, right? So this previous all-time highs, when you look at it, this was the place that the SPY was before Liberation Day sell-off, okay? And then this was the place where Liberation Day lows, once the market reversed, what did it do? It broke above here, this critical level, 612, right? So this is aligning with the 200 SMA. So we can get, if this sell-off intensifies, and actually NVIDIA has earnings next week, if they fail to deliver, this sell-off can intensify and go to the downside. And if you look at it, let's do the measurement. Let's measure from peak to trough to the bottom. It's going to be around 11%. So that's going to be around 10 to 11% correction, right? That's a correction. So if you get a correction, so a correction in this market is long overdue. And I believe that if we get a correction, it's going to flush out all the overvalued AI companies, and we are going to get a reset, right? And that reset will carry us and take us back to new all-time highs, right? I believe that we are still going to make new all-time highs. This is not the end of the road. We are still going to do some kind of a new all-time highs before the end of the year. We shall see how that plays out. But for now, what I'm looking at is that I'm looking at these trend lines closely, right? First of all, this one here, which is the mini trend line for the neckline, and then this one from Liberation Day. This is the lows of the Liberation Day lows, low of the year, to over here, this green candle from Friday. As long as price holds above this trend line here, this Liberation Day trend line here, I believe that we are going to make a reversal to the upside, right? But if we break it, then trouble, right? If we break it, then the next target is going to bring us to the 100 SMA on the daily. And then once you get to 100 SMA, there might be more panic and stuff, and this can come all the way to the 200, right? But we shall see how it plays out. I believe that at least we are going to get a bounce maybe tomorrow, and depending on how the market goes, we can get that reversal to the upside, okay? So that is the SPY. Next thing I want to look at is the VIX, right? The VIX is a volatility index for the S&P 500 or the SPY, okay? So if you look at the VIX here today, the VIX popped to, this is the green candle from today. The VIX is a volatility index. So basically what it does is that anytime SPY rallies, this one sells off. Anytime SPY sells off or the S&P sells off, this VIX rally. So today we got a sell-off in the market, and then we got this VIX rally, and you can see that it's holding this trend line. So if VIX were to break out of this trend line, then the market is going to be in big trouble, right? It's going to be in big trouble. We can go as high as 25. Okay, so for now, these are the targets for VIX. A break above this downsloping trend line is going to send it to 22, which is going to put more pressure on the market to sell off, and then it can push to 25 and beyond. After 25, the next area is going to be here. Okay, so that is what is at stake now. So if tomorrow we get like that pullback and pullback in the VIX, that means that we are going to get that rally to the upside. So I'm going to be watching this closely to see what happens. And above this trend line, mini trend line, we are going to get more sell-off in the market, and we can go lower than the 50 SMA on the daily, right? So I'm going to be watching that closely as well. All right, so what has been powering this market? What has been holding the market up all throughout this time since 2023 is the AI trade. So let's look at the SMH, the semiconductor ETF. So the semiconductor ETS has been really hot, like it's been really, firing on all cylinders, right? But finally, it cracked. I talked about this in other videos that I posted here. I talked about if you go to the SMH. So I talked about this. If you go to the weekly time frame for SMH, you are going to see that every single time it came to close to the 200, right? We had this move. So you have here this close to 200, we got a reversal, right? So anytime we rose to 102%, so over here, let me take my measurement tool to check it out. So from here to here is around 102, somewhere here, right? 102. So here, this is the highs. Is around 102. Okay, let me get this. 102%. So anytime we have risen by 102%, we always get a pullback. So there you have it. Look at that. So you have the pullback here. So you see here, this 102, we got a pullback. 102, we got a pullback. So I talked about this before this happened. I said that this SMH will start pulling back, and once it start pulling back, it's going to put pressure on the market. Okay, and that's what we've seen here. We see SMH breaking down and it's pulling back after it rallied for 102% from the 200-week simple moving average. Okay. All right. So let's go to SMA. Let's go to the daily chart here. We are seeing the same thing. Head and shoulders, right? Yeah, head and shoulders. So with this head and shoulders pattern, if this triggers tomorrow, so here I'm watching this intersection of these two trend lines. So I call this type of trend line when they intersect like that as a bow tie trend line, just like you have a bow tie on your suit. That is a similar idea here, right? So if we break below this, then we are going to go down and we are going to test the 50 on this first, right? We're going to test the 50. So this can happen again. It can continue going down if the market is weak tomorrow. And then they are going to wait for NVIDIA earnings. NVIDIA now has a lot of pressure on it to deliver good earnings. And I believe that because it has sold off, if the earnings come out, you are going to see a rally because like it has sold off from its highs, and we are going to get that rally. If it was trading at all-time highs, then it wouldn't have moved that much. So here we have this one here. And again, once again, if you take a line, so this is going to be the measured move. So from here to here is going to be, so we are going to get something like this. This can go as low as the 100 SMA, and which is actually going to coincide with the previous all-time highs here, this one. So SMH can come all the way here to 303. And if that happens, then the market will sell off significantly because this has been the driving force of the market. That's the semiconductor chips. Let's check NVIDIA. So with NVIDIA, NVIDIA has earnings next week. It needs to do something simple. It needs to find a way to hold this upsloping trend line, right? As long as it holds this upsloping trend line from Liberation Day lows, it is going to bounce, right? So here it's trading at the 50. Let's see what it does tomorrow, whether it can hold and go up. So again, this looks like an investor and shoulders kind of move. Let's see if it can hold tomorrow and then reverse. So if you get a green candle that wipes out the red candle, that means that we're going to reverse. If we break through this, then we are going to come down and we can short it to the downside. If it goes up, you can look for a reversal into the earnings, because earnings, you're going to get pre-anticipatory run before the earnings. And I believe that that is going to start here from now. And then once NVIDIA is rallying, we are going to get a rally in the market, right? So these are the key things that I wanted to flag here in today's video. And these are the indicators I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be watching the VIX. I'm going to be watching what the chip stocks are doing, SMH, and I'm also going to be watching NVIDIA as well. So yeah, so thank you for watching, and please subscribe to the channel and also hit the notification bell so that anytime I post a video, we post a video, or we go live, you are going to get the notification as well. So yeah, and if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to promote the channel and share this link with your friends and family. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Bye bye for now.